There's a message meant just for you, one that arrives at exactly the right moment, when your heart is searching for answers. It's as if the universe has been waiting for you to be ready, for you to reach this precise point in your journey. This message isn't random, it's intentional. It's like a letter from God, written with love and purpose, calling you toward something greater. You may not have realized it, but everything that has happened so far has been leading you to this moment of revelation. If you believe in God, subscribe now. A divine message is on its way for you. Imagine standing before a door that has been locked for so long, one you've walked past many times, always wondering what lay behind it. Maybe you even tried to open it once, but it wouldn't budge. You felt its presence, sensed the mystery it holds, but for some reason, you were never given access until now. Today, something has shifted. The door remains the same, but something is different. A key has appeared in your hand, and for the first time, you realize that you are meant to open it. This key is no ordinary key. It carries meaning beyond what you can see. It is a symbol of truth, of long-hidden answers, of clarity that has been waiting to find you. As you hold it, you might feel a weight, not of burden, but of significance. This key belongs to you and only you. No one else can use it. It was always meant to be yours, a gift from the divine, guiding you toward what you are ready to discover. Faith without action is incomplete. Send a super thanks now and watch miracles unfold. The door before you is not just a physical barrier. It represents something deeper, perhaps a part of yourself that you've been afraid to face, a question you've been too uncertain to ask, or a truth that felt too big to handle. But now, the time has come. You were never meant to remain on the outside forever. What's behind that door isn't meant to stay hidden. It is calling you forward, waiting for you to step into the light of understanding. The moment you place the key in the lock and turn it, something shifts. The air feels different. The weight of uncertainty begins to lift. As the door creaks open, a flood of emotions rushes through you. Curiosity, relief, even a hint of fear. But above all, there is something undeniable. The feeling that you are exactly where you need to be. The room beyond is filled with everything you've been seeking, even if you didn't know what you were looking for. It might be a truth that changes the way you see your life. It could be a realization that makes sense of the struggles you've faced. Perhaps it's the answer to a question that has lingered in your mind for years. Whatever it is, this moment is sacred. The things that once felt confusing or out of reach are now within your grasp. The light shines on what was once hidden, and for the first time, you see it clearly. Super thanks is your key to unlocking God's favor. Send one now and claim your blessings. This is a moment of revelation, a turning point where the past, present, and future align. It's as if the universe is whispering, you are ready. Ready to embrace what has always been yours. Ready to release the doubts that have held you back. Ready to step into a new level of understanding. And as you take it all in, something inside you shifts. The pieces begin to fall into place, and you know, deep in your soul, that you will never be the same again. If you're ready to embrace this truth, if you're prepared to step into the light and claim what has been waiting for you, take a deep breath and type 111 in the comments. This is your moment. The door is open. The truth is yours. Now, it's time to walk forward with faith, knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The more you give, the more you receive. Send a super thanks and see what God has planned for you. There are moments in life when it feels like justice is far away, like the wrongs done against you have gone unnoticed, and those who have caused pain continue without consequence. You may have carried the weight of these injustices for too long, wondering if the universe sees, if God hears, if balance will ever be restored. But know this, justice is not forgotten. What has been done in the dark will come to light. The time is coming when truth will rise, and those who have acted without remorse will face what they have sown. When you believe, miracles happen. Type Amen now and declare your faith in God. There was a man who lived as though he were untouchable. Everywhere he went, he left a trail of confusion and hurt behind him. At first, his actions seemed small, tiny manipulations, quiet betrayals, whispered lies. But over time, the harm he caused grew. He moved through life without care, taking what he wanted, using others for his own gain, and never looking back at the destruction in his wake. His heart was hardened, convinced that he would never have to answer for what he had done. For a while, it seemed like he was right. No one stopped him. The people he hurt suffered in silence, too afraid or too exhausted to fight back. He carried on as if he were immune to consequence, believing that power and deception could shield him forever. And yet, justice is never idle. It moves in unseen ways, waiting for the right moment to act. What he did not realize was that every action, every lie, every selfish choice was being counted. The scales of justice were shifting, preparing for the moment when they would tip. Then, the signs began to appear. The whispers of those he had wronged grew louder. What was once hidden in the shadows started coming into the light. The people who had suffered under his actions found their voices, and their stories began to spread. One by one, the pieces of his deception started to unravel. The security he thought he had built around himself was crumbling. The more he tried to maintain control, the more it slipped through his fingers. God blesses those who give. Send a super thanks and be a helping hand for the needy. At first, he refused to believe it. He had spent so long avoiding accountability that he thought he could escape again. But something greater was at work. The truth had begun its journey, and once it starts, it cannot be stopped. His name was being spoken in ways he had never imagined, not in admiration, but in warning. People were watching, paying attention, seeing him for who he truly was. His past was catching up with him, and there was no place left to hide. Justice does not rush, but it never fails. What seemed impossible before was now undeniable. Investigations began. The pieces of his story, his real story, were laid bare for all to see. The authorities started paying attention. The people he had wronged were no longer powerless. The lies that once protected him had turned against him, exposing the truth he had desperately tried to bury. The scales were finally balancing, and the universe was setting things right. For those who had suffered, it was a moment of relief. They had waited, they had hoped, and now they saw that justice was not a forgotten dream. It was real. It was happening. The harm they had endured would not go unanswered. The pain they had carried would not be in vain. They were not alone. There was a force greater than any injustice, a power stronger than any lie. The truth had spoken, and it had won. If you believe in the power of justice, if you trust that truth will always rise, take a moment to declare it. Type 555 in the comments as a sign of unity and faith. The world may seem unfair at times, but justice moves in ways we do not always see. Keep believing, keep trusting, and know that in the end, the truth will always shine. There are times when the road ahead feels uncertain, when the weight of your struggles makes you question if justice will ever come. But in these moments, remember this: you are not alone. There is a light within you, a strength that cannot be taken away. No matter what you've been through, no matter how dark things may have seemed, you are still standing. And that means something. It means you have the power to rise, to heal, and to move forward with faith. Justice is not just about holding others accountable. It's about restoring what was lost. It's about healing the wounds left behind, reclaiming your peace, and stepping into the future without fear. The truth is, you were never meant to carry this burden forever. The pain, the betrayal, the unanswered questions, these were never meant to define you. You have the power to release them, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to embrace the freedom that comes with moving forward. God sees your faith. Send a super thanks now and be counted among His chosen ones. There is divine timing at play, even when we can't see it. Sometimes, justice doesn't come in the way we expect or at the moment we want, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. God sees everything. He knows your heart. He knows what you've endured, and He is working behind the scenes in ways you may not yet understand. His plan is perfect, and His timing is never late. Trust that everything will fall into place exactly as it should. Even in the midst of challenges, there is still so much to be grateful for. The people who support you, the lessons you've learned, the small victories that remind you of your strength, these are signs that you are already on the path to something greater. Hold on to them. Let them be the reminders that no matter how hard things have been, you are still surrounded by goodness and grace. If you're ready to step into a new chapter filled with hope and divine guidance, type 111 in the comments. This is your moment to embrace the light, to trust in what's ahead, and to walk forward with confidence. Justice will come, the truth will shine, and you will rise stronger than ever before.